Hi, welcome to Natalie MK Consultant. I am going to be teaching you guys how to make Penang curry. Penang curry is a curry found in Asia, typically Thailand, and it is a combination of galangal, which is kind of like a spicy root, ginger, chilies, garlic, onions, scallions, and then of course some nice flavorings. And you can pick up this paste at any Asian market. If you live in the Tampa Bay area, I shop. There's one in Brandon called MD Oriental Market. There's also one on Fowler that you can go to, and there's also an Asian market in downtown Tampa called Oceanic. I've been going there since I was like 3. So if you want to pick this up, I'm going to show you what it looks like. It looks like a teeny cat food can. I'm going to bring this up so you can really see. This is the brand you want to buy. I believe it's pronounced Mysore. They come in different varieties. You can buy yellow curry, you can buy red curry. My favorite is the Penang or Massaman curry. And you can pretty much put any ingredients you want, including just make it vegetarian. So if you are on a, let's just say you're on a keto diet, and you can have dairy, for instance, if you want to, a lot of fat, so coconut milk is a really good one to have. You can do chicken and vegetables or just vegetables. So if you're on keto, of course you don't want to serve it with rice. So just some suggestions. So I'm putting potatoes and eggplant in mine today. So I cut up my potatoes already and they're sitting here in water. So you can see, I kind of like chop them up. They're about a 1/2 inch wide, and I have them soaking in water. If you don't know anything about cutting up potatoes, you want potatoes to be sitting in water so they don't turn brown. That is a type of oxidation that naturally happens from the starches found in potato, just like you see with certain types of fruits like pears and apples. The other thing that happens with eggplant is the same thing. Normally I soak it in water, but I don't like to do that because what will happen is your eggplant will, your eggplant will absorb the water, and then when you put it into your dish, it doesn't absorb all that delicious flavor. So I normally cut the eggplant last so that I can prevent it from turning brown as much as possible. But if it turns brown, it won't change the flavor or anything like that. So that's that. The next ingredient I have right here, this is minced garlic. So I just chopped it up. I'll show you what I use. I like to buy this one because I'm lazy and I don't like to do the garlic very much. It's a lot to peel, so I just don't like to bother with that. So I buy this from the grocery store. And then this is like my favorite herb over here. This is Thai basil. It smells amazing. It doesn't taste like the normal basil that's from Italy or Italian. It has a completely different taste. It's really gonna add a lot of flavor. And before I do that, I'm gonna put this in there as a final touch garnish. Debbie, I haven't seen you in so long. I'm still cooking. I love you. Miss you, lady. Hey, Ollie. So, onions. Got to put onions in Penang curry. Everyone loves curry. Everyone always asks me, how do you make that? I make it for Brian all the time. He loves spicy food. So I had already cut up some onions. I just did them julienne. So basically that means that you cut the onion in half and then you cut them like following the little lines on the onion. So you have like a little half moon strip. So it's like really thin. Okay, I already have some I cut up that was in my fridge, so I have that. The next thing I like to buy when I do curry is I buy the thin cut chicken from Publix, Winn-Dixie, wherever you want to go. But I buy the chicken breast cutlets. And these are thinner cut, and it says cutlet at the top, right here. See that? And that allows you to make it nice and thin. It allows it to cook more quickly and more evenly because I want to get dinner quick. So these are some of my fast things. So the first step to getting this started is now you have all the ingredients. I'm going to turn you around right here. First thing you do is put your pan on. You're going to warm up about 4 tablespoons of oil. And you're going to take this and you're going to pan fry the mixture. With a lot of curries, including Caribbean curry, I learned from my aunt. She taught me that if you don't cook Caribbean curry, like yellow curry, dry powder curry, if you don't cook it long enough, it'll really move through you very quickly. So it's important that you cook curry down, including Thai curry, just because that also helps make the oil fragrant. So I have about 4 tablespoons of regular vegetable oil. You can use canola oil or any other type of very bland oil. It's up to you. When you go to the store, make sure you get coconut milk. It needs to say milk. That's what this is. You don't want to buy coconut cream. Coconut cream is sweet. I'm gonna put this in the pan. So I'm just gonna scoop it all out, the whole thing. I have it at about a little bit between low to medium, and you're gonna see that it smells amazing in here really quickly. Add 200 milliliters of coconut milk, and that's about half of this can. So here's the coconut milk. It's been 2 minutes. It says to add half the can. A little trick about this, shake the can up really well to make sure all the cream that settles in it doesn't just stay on the bottom. So we add about half of this, and we're gonna get it stirring. I'm gonna turn it down to low just so that I can get my chicken cut up. So we're gonna swing around right here. I'm gonna teach you how to cut up some chicken. I really prefer to use a plastic cutting board when I'm cutting anything that's meat. And then when I'm done, you wanna make sure that you really, really clean up your area well. So this is still frozen, as you can see, but I prefer it that way so I can cut it up really thin. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the whole thing, cut it in half, and then I'm gonna turn it around like this. And I'm gonna slice it. If you do it frozen like I showed you, you'll be able to slice it super thin because it's frozen. Cut that piece. Look at that. It's like super thin. See that? If you want to make Philly cheesesteaks at home, that's the secret, because most of you, I don't know about you, but I don't have a slicer at home, like the electric kind in the grocery store. So if you want to make Philly cheesesteaks, the secret is to freeze the meat and then slice it. So this allows me to cut it very thin. So now I have all this beautiful chicken. I think I'm going to use this whole package. So here's all my lovely chicken. I'm going to turn you around over here. For this recipe, the next step is simply just to put the chicken in and start letting it cook. So we're gonna throw that in. This is already cooked down for some time. Oh my gosh, it smells so good. I'm gonna go ahead and add all of my vegetables. The potatoes are gonna take the longest, so I'm gonna put those in first with the rest of the coconut milk. And we're gonna add a little bit of water because while the potatoes are cooking, it's gonna reduce, and we wanna make sure that it's still thick enough, like enough liquid is in there so that the potatoes can still be completely submerged. I'm also going to show you my secret ingredient, which I don't ever show anyone. But unfortunately, this ingredient is not easy to find because it's not typically sold at regular stores. This is a secret to most of my cooking. This is chicken base. Basically, you use this with hot liquid to make like a chicken stock, but I'm going to add it instead of salt. This adds a lot of flavor, and it comes like a thick paste like that. And I'm probably going to add, you can always add more later, but you can never take away salt. So I'm going to add about a teaspoon of this right to this dish. And then before it's done, I'll give it a nice taste to see if it's enough salt. Typically, potatoes take about 20 to 30 minutes to cook down. So this video might take me a little bit longer now because the potatoes take a little bit. So I'm going to put a little more water just because I want it to be, I don't want it to like dry out while it's covered. I'm going to cover it now for about 10 minutes. I'm going to set my timer. After 10 minutes, I'll put in the eggplant, and then it'll probably go for another 10 minutes, and then it'll be about done. It's starting to simmer really good, so I'm going to turn it down a little bit. My timer's up for 10 minutes, so I'm going to give it a little stir. That was a quick 10 minutes. I'm going to check the potatoes to see how soft. We're waiting for them to be about halfway soft before I add the eggplant. I like to use a paring knife, like a little knife like this. And if you're not familiar with like how to check for doneness in potatoes, if you have to push it through really difficult, it's not done. If it goes through like butter, then it's too done. So you want a little bit of give, because you still want to put the eggplant in and let that cook in time. Oh, these are feeling really nice. So they're about where I need them to be. They're about halfway done, so perfect. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the eggplant and put that in. These are long, purple, and thin eggplants. I got 2 of them at the Asian market for $1.50. I bought 2 russet potatoes at the grocery store, and they're like 89 cents a pound or something small. Maybe they're $1.99 a pound. I don't remember. But I didn't spend more than $3 on potatoes. So that's what, like $5? My packaged chicken was $5.81. So it cost me about $11 to make this dish. And you can really serve easily 6 people with this, depending upon if you serve it with rice. The microwave uses water to heat up, and a lot of people don't think about that. So if you want to heat up rice and get it to be nice and fluffy like the first day you made it, you want to add a little bit of water to it, and then you want to cover it really well. Mic it, and then give it a little fluff, and then let it stay in the microwave after you fluff it with a fork, and let it sit for a minute or 2, and that will help to distribute the heat more evenly. So I'm going to cover this and let it go for 10 more minutes. Okay, so technique. I'm trying to see if I can show you this. I lined them all up and stacked them all like on top of each other, like layers. And I'm going to hold them really tightly, and I'm going to slowly slice through this. In culinary, we call this chiffonade. It means tiny or thin ribbons in French. A lot of the history of cooking, a lot of it was started in France, so they are the ones who kind of get all the credit for all the cooking terms. I'm still here, cooking all the time like I always do, so if you guys have any questions, you want to learn how to do something, just message me. I'm going to give this a little stir since I'm standing here right now. Always open the pot lid away from you. Something I learned in culinary school the hard way. So you don't want to keep stirring it too much. If you stir it a lot, you're going to break up the potatoes and they're not going to have nice consistency. However, if you want to smush a couple potatoes, you can do that if you want to add a little bit thicker consistency to the dish. So I'm going to use my little knife and check it. And they're perfectly done with about 4 minutes to spare. I'm going to leave this open now so it can kind of reduce a little bit. If you want to add any fun garnishes, of course I didn't put a lot of vegetables in mine today. Normally I add bell peppers. If you like bamboo shoots, you can buy those. They're canned typically, because most people can't sell them fresh. So you can buy canned bamboo shoots. You can buy Asian mushrooms, chop them up, throw them in there last minute. Mushrooms are real quick to add. You can put scallions. You can put cilantro if you like. You can put bell peppers. Those are my go-tos, bell peppers, onions, mushrooms. So I'm gonna taste this a little bit to see how the salt is. It's actually really good. I don't really need to add much salt. I only added about a teaspoon to begin with, and that was it. So I'm leaving this open to let it reduce. I still have 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on my 10-minute timer, and the food is pretty much done. We're just trying to get the sauce to the right consistency. With curry, it's all about timing. You want to make sure that you have the consistency that you want. If you want a lot of thick sauce, or if you want a little bit of thick sauce, just decide how much water to add and how much not to add. But this one is pretty spicy, so I would say it's about medium to hot for this actual curry base that I showed you guys today. Alright guys, thank you for watching. I'm going to play this up for Brian and I. We're going to have dinner. Have a great night.